Today we start a series on the practical realities of building an end-to-end application using Microsoft's Power Platform. First, a little background. Over the past 5 years, I have been using just about every element of the Power Platform to build a variety of complete applications. This includes an exciting end-to-end sales team enablement solution, which is used by over 60 salespeople as they visit with their customers in person or on the phone every day. In addition, it is used in collaboration with their 20-plus person sales support staff back at the different physical offices and the sales and executive management teams that drive the national sales effort. In 2010, I joined PricewaterhouseCoopers, now PwC, and began an almost 7-year stint building the client-facing Microsoft Technology Alliance and consulting practice. At that time, the Power Platform was in its earliest phases. Power BI had been out for a few years, and I was part of a broader effort to assist PwC's vast team of advanced Excel users first to adopt Power Pivot and then to experimentally use Power BI in its earliest releases. At this time, Microsoft was still playing catch-up, and I remember conversations inside Microsoft's Redmond, Washington walls where the topic of building a Tableau killer was heard repeatedly. In my final 6 months at PwC in 2016, Microsoft was working hard to have us become an early adopter of Power Apps, which at the time was a little too radical for an old Big Four player like PwC, although today they now have an active practice. Upon my liberation from PwC in late 2016, I looked at Power Apps, Dataverse, then called Common Data Services, and Power Automate, then called Flow, and saw the latest incarnation of tools that I had been using since the beginning of my career back in the early 80s. Back then, we called them fourth-generation languages. One of my personal favorite concepts holds that, as in fashion, what is old is new again, and now 4GL has become low and no code. While working in the Power Platform during these early days, I found myself being contacted by investment research groups surveying my opinion on low and no code platforms, most of which I had never heard of, and to my surprise, never even mentioned Microsoft in the mix. It was at that point that I discovered I had stumbled on the next venture capital search for unicorns, and the VC money was flowing. While I will be focusing on the Power Platform in this video series, be assured that most of the approaches we will discuss to handle different challenges, and there were many, will have similar analogous design patterns should you be using any of the other low and no-code platforms out there. I was fortunate to get my initial Power Platform training from key Microsoft staff working on and leading the customer satisfaction teams, who now, almost 6 years later, are well-known names in driving the evolution and maturing of the products. In addition, they guided me to the emerging Power community and the innovative approach Microsoft was taking to drive viral adoption. This was both a radically new concept for a big software company, as well as weirdly aligned with the old bottoms-up approach that Microsoft used to gain market dominance during its early days. I've benefited by access to the many blogs and vlogs, Power community user groups, and YouTube creators, some of whom have become mini celebrities in their own right, as I worked my way on my own through small proof of concept trials up to our complete end-to-end production solution. This solution now has a proven set of reusable components and design patterns with application security and administration coupled with robust and reliable operations, now managed by a collaboration of the internal IT organization and the line of business staff. The application's performance is highly responsive, and even the most complicated data-intensive functions, extracting data or writing to external systems through APIs, performs very acceptably. My experience designing and constructing this solution over the past 2.5 years, as the Power Platform itself matured, highlighted a few gaps that challenged my progress. The first set of challenges was that while I was generally successful finding answers to my technical or how-to questions, I had to use a trial and error approach to find the right keyword or phrase to put into the search engine for the specific blocker I was facing. Then I had to time-consumingly sort through the myriad of search engine results and figure out which was the right approach for me and my problem. You then have to carefully read and reread the blog article or watch and rewatch the training video, starting and stopping it frequently, keystroking each step until you discover that what you were watching or reading was not really what you were looking for. And then back to the drawing board to rinse and repeat until you find the perfect source or the right answer suddenly becomes clear. The video creators were very open to sharing their experiences, solving technical challenges when and where there was simply none of the clear, published documentation that many of us old guys have come to expect. These people, while excellent technicians, were definitely not experienced educators. Very frequently, the demonstrations were tightly focused on a certain, highly specific situation. This could be a particular data source with heavy emphasis on the SharePoint lists or Excel spreadsheets on the examples, or technical challenges that were very small slice and not particularly generic, extensible, or transferable to other similar but distinctly different situations or usage scenarios. While this can provide lots of opportunity to be creative or innovative, generally, the overall problem was something that should have been very straightforward to solve with clearer documentation from the outset. The search was usually intellectually stimulating, but normally I just wanted to quickly answer the how-to question so that I could get the module I was working on finished and into production. I'm hoping that this video series, while not specifically targeted at solving these challenges, will provide some clear guidance on them. The second set of challenges, and what I want this series to directly address, is that rarely did I find design guidance, build patterns, and the overall business-oriented best practices required to build a full end-to-end solution and solve the more architectural aspects of the most common business needs faced by citizen developers. This includes understanding how the specific Power Platform development activities fit into the entire real-life application lifecycle that is part and parcel of the experience of professional IT staff. This lifecycle runs through the planning, budgeting, design, execution, adoption, and wide usage of production quality, highly reliable solutions, followed by the inevitable rework and re-release process that is required as people, and there read users and management, change their minds about how things work and business realities change. Some of us use the term sustaining engineering to describe this part of the application lifecycle that is often not planned into the project properly. The first aspect of this challenge is that rarely did the training videos or even the better technical cookbooks on the bookshelves look at the problem from the point of view of standard and recurring business scenarios such as 1. Looking up real-time inventory or order information. 2. Building and managing quotes, orders, or invoices. 3. Traditional reporting or templated printing tasks. And 4. More complex business workflows like sending data packages from one person or system to another, or building configurable monitoring and notification engines that coordinate emails, texts, videos, or phone sessions in a meaningful manner. The second aspect of this challenge that citizen developers face is that they are trying or have been tasked by their leadership to do something that has traditionally been performed by a team of people with a variety of more specialized skills and experience. These teams are generally made up of business analysts, user experience designers, cyber and application security specialists, business and technical architects, developers, testers, database analysts and administrators, IT infrastructure managers, and other people with specialized skills. Some larger or mid-sized enterprises have mature IT organizations that have or are building specific process structures to support citizen developers, using tools like the fairly complex and frequently changing Center of Excellence kit that Microsoft supplies. Unfortunately, other IT organizations often see citizen development, rightly or wrongly, as either an annoyance or worse, a threat to their fiefdoms, and aren't supportive at all. In many instances, however, particularly in smaller organizations, IT resources are scarce or non-existent. IT support of any kind, if it exists at all, is something that just sits on the side of the desk of the most IT-savvy business user around. The problem, of course, is that they are not trained IT professionals and often must rely on an external IT reseller or vendor. These outside IT suppliers probably and rightly must charge for every phone call for help, and at the same time are rarely tuned into the actual business realities of the organization. Low and no-code platforms provide powerful tools for the citizen developer to rapidly build very often powerful, sometimes dazzling business tools on their own, often with very little help. These solutions have the potential to affect the digital transformations everyone is talking about and radically reface or retool an enterprise's operations. However, it is generally unrealistic to expect a business power user to fully grasp without assistance the breadth and depth of the challenges posed in the construction and deployment of secure, robust, responsive, and supportable tools that are well aligned with both the slow-to-change corporate IT mindset and the rapidly changing commercial IT landscape. Providing help in these areas in plain, hopefully jargon-free language is what this series aspires to provide. So with that introduction, what will you find in this video series? I will be covering the following two top-level topics, first at a high level and then at some depth specifically for the Microsoft Power Platform. The first will be broad design patterns for specific business applications, and the second will be practical approaches to real business complexity and challenges, rather than strictly technical approaches. These general design patterns and approaches are transferable to other low and no-code platforms. Based on the input we receive as you watch and comment, we will address new topics and alter our focus to ensure that we provide relevant and topical information to assist you in your own Power Platform or low and no-code projects. The 5 business design patterns we will cover include searching for, organizing, and displaying your business information from multiple sources, no matter where you store it. This could be accessing and displaying real-time information for users on their smartphones, tablets, or on laptops and desktops, in the office or on the go. In these cases, a combination of Power Apps and Power Automate might be the most appropriate set of tools. Or they could be larger, more complex data visualization and analytics what-if exercises, more appropriate for Power BI. They often require both larger screen formats and mobile access to management and executive operational dashboards and reporting. A second set of design patterns includes capturing, organizing, and recording information that your current systems don't maintain, and then tying it directly to the business information that you do maintain. The requirements for these new data recording services are generally mobile and from anywhere. They allow users to untether themselves from existing legacy systems that aren't fun or easy to use, and to capture important information that isn't currently being collected. They also frequently utilize, for the first time without complex programming and proprietary tools, inputs natively available on modern smartphones like video and still cameras, GPS, cloud file systems, microphones, barcode and RFID chip readers, field sensors, and other rapidly evolving device inputs. A third critical set of design patterns is securing your low and no-code solution from both inadvertent and nefarious access. This needs to be done in a realistic and practical manner that balances complex and important security controls with ease of use that drives real as opposed to checkbox security. The fourth valuable set of design patterns is building innovative and valuable data and information mashups across your information universe. This might include multiple sources within and external to your organization's walls, including supplier, customer, partner, government, education, commercial, and public databases. Finally, we will cover design patterns to build, execute, and monitor customized, streamlined business processes and workflows to improve both your organization's throughput and accuracy, with fewer operational bottlenecks and failures, with better overall visibility. The practical approaches to real business challenges we will cover include using an incremental approach to project and product releases to quickly realize valuable benefits and ensure project excitement. This also helps build users confidence in the robustness and reliability of the solution, and hopefully has them asking for more. Driving user adoption using modern techniques like bottoms-up viral activities combined with more traditional top-down executive sponsorship is another important approach we will cover. An approach to address the incomplete, inconsistent, and incorrect data that frequently exists within and between source systems is generally central to the success of a solution. Unless addressed and remediated in a timely manner, these issues just get in the way of and slow project development and rollout. More dangerously, they also frustrate users and ultimately threaten acceptance as the validity of the application's results presented to the users is questioned. When building these types of business applications, each person, group, or role has a tendency to validly look at these efforts from a what's in it for me point of view, rather than what's in it for the organization as a whole. Finding approaches to balance these different perspectives and align the varied interests of the different people that must be included in a project is always on my mind as I work through the full application lifecycle successfully. Finally, bringing in, training, and fostering new talent across the spectrum from novice to experienced individuals and teams helps drive the sustainability, continuous improvement, and benefits of the solution over time as people come and go in an organization. So now, let's strap in and off we go.